against Genk in the league first, and then we play the first leg of our second knockout round Europa League game against Tottenham. The last episode, which you may or may not have seen, if you haven't, probably best to go back and watch that first, was, I believe, the 2 legs against Malmo in the Euro Cup, which we won 5-0 and then 1-0. We also played Eupen off camera in the middle of those games and beat them 3-0. And then we've played just the one game since then, which was actually a defeat, 2-1 to Charleroi. Krasilnikov scored in the first half, and then our player, where do I think I'm from? I'm not from Yorkshire. Our player, Kane, that was better, equalised for Charleroi. He's obviously on loan there. And then they scored a 92nd minute winner, which was killer. But in terms of the league, with 2 games to go in the regular season, which I'll bring you obviously one today, one next episode, we've won it in terms of the regular season. No one can overtake us, even if Genk beat us today. However, obviously it now splits into the Championship League, so we do want to try and accumulate as much of a different distance between us and Genk and Anderlecht as well, who aren't that far behind. Want to try and do that, yeah. Obviously we've got 10 games, so it's 30 points to play for. So us being 7 points clear at the moment literally has like no impact whatsoever. So yeah, we'll see how we get on today. Obviously the last time we played Genk was a 2-1 defeat, one of only 4 defeats so far in the league this season. Interestingly, I may have pointed this out before, but every game that we have lost in the league this year has been 2-1, and they've all been away as well, which is strange. Obviously to some terrible teams as well, Mouscron and Charleroi, second and third bottom respectively. Eupen in 9th, obviously Genk one is fair play. But yeah, hopefully we can manage to get the win today, get some good form going into the Europa League game against Tottenham, which is kind of more the focus at this point of the season. Obviously once the normal Pro League is finished, the focus will firmly be on the Championship group. But yeah, before that Charleroi defeat, we've been on quite a good little run of form. What's that, about 10-12 games without defeat, something like that. So hopefully we can brush that aside and get straight back to winning ways. We have got, I think, our strongest available team out, which is Debuser in goal, Lopez, Krasilnikov, Wouters and the Claw, Sasa and Molina, Alexiev, Sanchez, Deprez and TriStar. A shout perhaps for Saint-Maximin to start in such an important game, a little bit more experience, but quite frankly Deprez has, well, as you can see there, he's 7.26 in his last 5 games, a 6.93 overall, 3 goals, I think 3 assists, something like that, in about 15-ish games. For a 16-year-old is quite frankly remarkable at such a high level of football, so he just gets the nod. Everyone else playing very well in the last 5 games, all apart from TriStar, who's been ridiculously average by his standards. We have got Mathieu on the bench, who has scored a couple recently, but hasn't quite justified that £20-odd million transfer in January. However, the signings of Lopez, the Claw and Molina, all for around 5 million for Lopez and the Claw, and I think Molina was about 10, so they all seem extremely good value for money so far. Molina is already listed as our key player, or he was then anyway, in the media build-up. So he's come straight into the team and had a massive impact, replaced Gaspar, and has meant that Poirier hasn't really had a look in, who himself cost like 17 million or something, so he's also been benched. Yeah, so yeah, Molina, really good pickup, and will only get better. Will only get better. I don't know what's wrong with me today. All over the place. I've had a few days off recording. I think that's what it is. Had a busy week with work and a social life, which you may find hard to believe as someone who spends quite a lot of his spare time sat in front of his laptop talking into it and playing this massive Excel spreadsheet. But no, I do have friends, honestly, and we do go out and do things. The flavour of this week's been pub quizzes, actually, which yeah, a lot of fun. I'm very good at them as well, I have to say. But no, yeah, you may or may not be aware that last week I started a new job, which is 9 to 5 Monday to Friday. So these videos have probably not taken a backseat, but are harder to schedule my recordings and stuff. Only having the evenings free, and then obviously having, you know, only having my weekends free, but also obviously I want to go out and do things. But I'm sort of getting into a routine with it now. I try and record a couple at the weekend to upload on like the Monday and Wednesday, and then I usually fit one in before football, which is again why I'm wearing this on the Thursday night for it to then go up on the Friday. So that's the sort of structure I'm trying to go for. And the view, I've been getting some pretty good views recently. And I'm pretty close to the 100 video mark as well, which is sort of touted as a sort of magic number within, well, the Football Manager community is the only one that I am aware of. I'm a part of, I use loosely, but touted in that sort of area, it takes around 100 videos for you to master your production of your videos, and is often used as the sort of base level when you start to gain more sort of recognition, and sort of start appearing on suggested videos on the big ones, like Dr. Benji or Work the Space. Lelujo is also doing really well at the moment. So yeah, it could be an interesting sort of, well, I should hit 100 videos within the next month, if my maths is right. So sort of into the summer, over the summer, the channel might start getting a bit more exposure, which would be great. Obviously I welcome that, but to those hardcore 37 subscribers that have been there from the start, hopefully you keep supporting me and keep enjoying what I do. And I haven't said it for a while, but I mean, I've always tried to get this point across. You know, any comments, any feedback, any questions, any tips, anything like that, don't be afraid to comment or at me on Twitter. My link to Twitter is down below. I always welcome feedback or questions, whatever. So yeah, you know, don't be afraid to get involved. And yeah, let me know, you know, are you enjoying the save still? I know it's, you know, we're into our, what is it now, 3rd year with Club Brugge, which is, I think it's one of our longest spells at a club. But you know, we are getting towards the end of another season, so you know, depends on what happens this season, I guess. But some of you might think, if I win the league here, then maybe it's time to go elsewhere, or do we stay and try and do better in Europe? Or, you know, if we don't win the league, then, you know, is that as far as we can go? Do we then leave anyway, or do we obviously then stay and try and win the league again? Or, you know, I'm not really sure yet, but if you've got any ideas, then fire them at me. Also, if you're enjoying the Belgian part of it, the international management part, there will be another episode of that after the next episode of Bruges, if that makes sense. There's another international break coming up, so yeah, if you like that part of it, or equally if you don't, let me know. And yeah, I mean, I've said all that. We've got to the 60th minute. It's 2-1. I haven't, said anything. Alexiev's on his hat trick, but Diaz has just pulled one back. And we've got Saint-Maximin and Poirier on for the last half an hour to try and get that extra goal, just to keep us just in front. As it stands, it takes us 10 points clear of Genk, which is massive. That's very good. I welcome that distance. Heading into the Championship group, any sort of distance is very, very useful. We are in with a very, very real shout of bottling it last minute. As always, Salinas makes it 2-2 in the 90th minute. It'll go down as. We have dominated the game, but we've just fallen asleep towards the back end. I hope we just escape with a draw, unless we get a late winner. No, we'll take a draw. That's okay. Genk are I don't want to say the best, because that's us so far this year, but one of the best teams in the league. We're still 7 points clear of them, which is great. 10 points clear of Anderlecht in third, that's quite important. So yeah, not too bad. We've got a reasonable rest now until the Europa League game. So I will just go away, and I'll be back with that one shortly. At New White Hart Lane, for the Europa League game today. Couple of changes. Just the one actually. The Claw is unregistered, so I was going to have Willems play at left back, but then he got injured, so I've had to put Kabangu in there, who isn't really suited to it at all, but should do okay. The only other one is Saint-Maximin is also unregistered, so Depoit, the young midfielder who played in the last Europa League games, I think, he is on the bench if needs be. We'll have a look at the Tottenham team. Probably nowhere near what it is at the start of the game, although as you can see there, Harry Kane is still there and is currently the top scorer in the competition. TriStar is only a couple behind him though, so apparently they're not in particularly good form, and apparently we are. I don't really know how that works. So they're playing a 4-2-3-1, which is probably what you'd expect from a Tottenham side. They've got Dragowski in goal, who is he's a hot prospect. I think, if I remember rightly, he was at Fiorentina. Yeah, he was always a good pickup on previous versions of the game, and joined Fiorentina in real life at the start of this game, so he's a good keeper. Lloris is still there and is on the bench. Alderweireld's there. Semedo, I think, played for Sporting Lisbon, maybe. Gustavo Gomez, I think, is at Atletico Madrid. Jocelyn Mayer, there's a throwback. If anyone watched my France under-23s adventure at the Olympics, you'll remember Jocelyn Mayer as my left back. Has been at Tottenham for a few years, had a couple of years out on loan, and now looks like he's maybe their first choice. Ben Davies is still there though and is on the bench. Eric Dyer plays next to Vincent Marchetti. Is he a regen? No, he's a real player. French midfielder. Starts the game at Nancy. Okay, looks like he hasn't particularly done that great at Spurs though. We'll keep an eye on him. Dali Ali is there and plays in the hole behind Harry Kane. Rafa Silva, on the left. He always develops into a good player. Is at Benfica at the start of the game. And Lucas Moura is on the right. 30-year-old now, still ridiculously quick and really, really good. Yeah. They picked him up from obviously PSG. 23 million. And on the bench, Lloris, Vrsaljko is a right back, at somewhere like Sassuolo. Maybe he's moved. I don't know. Christian Eriksen is still there. Bogard, I'm not sure. Frank Kessie has just, I believe in real life, moved to Inter Milan from, I want to say Atlanta, but I'm not sure. He's a sort of midfield destroyer kind of player. Ben Davies, as I say, and Villalba on the bench. So yeah, going to be difficult. Always a good side. But yeah, hopefully we can get past them. Two kind of similar teams by the looks of it. Their focal points being their strikers. Quite solid at the back, well organised in midfield, pacey, strong, and Harry Kane. I was going to say puts them into the lead, but doesn't quite. Manages to get through on goal, but does fire it wide. So an early scare, but nothing to worry about. As they come forward again, Rafa's made an absolute meal out of Lopez, and Dele Alli has popped it in the 7th minute. He had his foot on the ball just in the 6-yard box. Looks like Wouters goes to him, Sassa's around him as well, and the keeper comes out, but somehow he manages to get it past everyone and make it 1-0. I don't know. What a great start. Another highlight goes Spurs' way. Alderweireld down to Dele Alli, into Harry Kane, and makes it 2-0. I'm going to drop to counter. They are running us ragged. Harry Kane's 27th goal of the season. It's quite ridiculous. Kabangu, Sasa, Wouters, none of them can get close to Dele Alli. Leaving gaps in the middle. Krassilnikov, torn between two men, picks the wrong one, and Harry Kane just bangs it in. Does what he always does, pretty much. Another highlight here. We are getting torn apart. Molina clears, but not far enough. Eric Dyer, Rafa Silva, and parried away from Debusa, and Krassilnikov out for a corner. Rafa with the corner. Debusa comes out and claims. Can we create anything? No, we can't. No, we can't. We're getting towards half time now. Go in and regroup. Debusa with the kick, but that is just to no one. Mayer has loads of time on that. Eric Dyer with his foot on the ball, but Sasa to try-star, and is there a bit of room? Alexiev, get down the line and cross it, son. No, Alderweireld crunches him. And now Spurs look like they're going to try and build something. Mora into Kane. Don't let him shoot. Oh, Debusa, great save. What a shot from Harry Kane. Running us ragged. Another corner for Spurs. Cleared from Alexiev. Sanchez, get out to him. Marchetti. Tackled from Molina. Go on then. To Sanchez, to Deprez. And nothing comes of it. Cool. Another highlight just before half time. Starts with Spurs. Is it going to end with a chance for them? Building their way forward. Dele Alli, Lucas Moura, and that's 3-0. That's 3-0. Lucas Moura on the stroke of half time. I'm not going to watch the replay. Let's just get in at half time. Let me be assertive with them. It was absolutely terrible. The performance has been extremely poor. I'm going to go up to standard and see how the game goes. Then we can change it again if necessary. Trying to control the game didn't work. Trying to counter didn't really work. I feel like they're just too strong for us, full stop. What would be ideal is if we can manage to get an away goal. That would make it a little bit better. Deprez now into Sanchez. Yes! And there it is. 7th goal of the season for Carlos Sanchez. And another assist for young Deprez, actually. That's good to see. Bit of a gap in the middle. Takes the first time shot on. I looks like that went in off the bar, and that's just what we needed. What a time to score as well. Is Istanbul on the cards? Don't rule it out. Although I'll say that we've not seen anything since, so I'm going to get Maro Matthew on for TriStar. Going to get Alexievov off Depoit on the left, and that will do us for now. Just a couple of attacking changes, but hopefully they do the business. TriStar in a poor few games. Hopefully Matthew can have an impact. And two, I think they're both 16, 17-year-old wingers. Just get them out there, see what they can do. Depoit's looked good in the couple of games he's played. Oh, Sasa, what have you done? Don't get sent off. Oh, crikey. Oh, elbow. Oh, God. Just what we needed. I haven't got Hajdu on the bench. So it's going to have to be Poirier for Sanchez, and we'll drop Poirier in that ball winning role for the last 20 minutes. Oh, great. Our chances of a comeback, I would say, are all but over. However, I wouldn't rule out them scoring again. Eriksen's on now, which is great. Imagine having Eriksen on your bench. Oh, there's the fourth. Harry Kane. Great. Game over. Let's go attacking, try and get another goal. Certainly make the second leg interesting. Molina to Matthew to Deprez, tackled, and Mayer brings it away to Rafa. Bit exposed at the back. Eriksen into Kane, who looked offside, but I think has made it his hat trick. Yes, yes, he has. I could see that coming, and I think you can say at 5-1 that is 100% game over. Poirier wins it back though. Depoit loses out. Kessie, Kane outmuscles Wouters. Debusa manages to turn it wide. Getting absolutely battered. Absolutely battered. Poirier clears. Krasilnikov brings it out, and nothing happens. I don't want to say the sending off changed the game because we were 3-1 down. However, we might have still had a chance at 3-1. At 5-1 we have pretty much no chance. And with TriStar out of form as well. Perfect combination. We've got injuries, unregistered first team players, suspension now as well for Sasa. It's all going wrong. Well, in Europe. The league's still fine. Spurs are just better than us in every department today. Better at winning the ball back, better at attacking, finishing is on point. Well, let's get aggressive. Far from pleased. Wow. 15 goals in the Europa League already for Harry Kane is mad. Right, well, it looks like the next episode is basically just a massive dead rubber. The league isn't important for this next game, and it looks like we're out of Europe anyway. So, but anyway, join me again soon. We'll wrap up the normal league season, and we'll see how many we can concede against Spurs in the second leg. That should be out on Monday, all being well. But if you like this one, then drop a like on it. If you want to see more, make sure you're subscribed. Share the love, tell your friends, blah, 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 you know the score. And we'll see you again soon.